Coming at you out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, more specifically the great neighborhood of Oakland. It's our new show, Record Talk, where we talk all about music and so much more. I'm your host, Jack Savinelli,
I'm your co-host, Dylan Reeve.
and yeah, this is our proof of concept episode. I'm really excited for this. I mean,
Yippee!
this is the first show, first episode, I should say, excuse me. So that's
Hmm.
pretty exciting. Where I hope you, as the audience, can learn a little bit about me and Dylan, as I feel like we're some pretty cool cats who can talk about music. Uh, Maybe that's not too difficult to talk about. But first off, I would like you guys to know a little bit about me, as I am a producer for Oakland Radio and Broadcasting, or ORB. Um, Even the founder, some would say, but maybe Fada, she would have issues with that, but who knows? But as well as a co-host for Record Talk, I am also a co-host for The Breakdown, which is our news show that's going to be on production pretty soon. We're just figuring some stuff out on the production side. And I am a Pitt student. Probably makes sense that I am starting a production company for the neighborhood of Oakland. Uh, and I am studying media as well as professional communications, whatever professional communications is. I don't really know. And I'm taking the broadcasting certificates. And I wanted to start a music podcast slash talk show because, of course, like anyone else, I've been listening to music my entire life, and that's one of the pieces of media or types of media, I should say, that you constantly consume your entire life. And it's so integral to so many different people. And I feel like talking about my own music taste, I don't get to do it a lot. And so I thought this would be a great opportunity to talk about music with Dylan, who I know has a very fun type of music that she listens to all the time. And so I just love music. Who doesn't love music? So um, my deal isn't that crazy, but I feel like you, Dylan, you you got a lot going on, and I'm interested to hear what you will tell our audience.
Yeah, so I am a Ferris student all the way up in Michigan. So me and Jack were like 7 hours apart. Um, I've been in music my entire life. I started with piano lessons in kindergarten, and then I played the flute, and then I moved on to percussion. Um, and I was in percussion all 4 years of high school, and then I was in my high school marching band as a snare drum. And literally just as of like a month ago, I'm now a part of a professional DCI group as a marching snare. Um, so yeah, my music taste is super uncommon. I don't do that on purpose. I'm not trying to be super different and special. I genuinely, out of my whole life, I've only met two people ever actually recognize the artists that I list. And out of all the people who listen to them, I'd say only four people actually like it. Some people can tolerate it, some people cannot. Some people have told me to just shut it off. Four people have ever actually thoroughly enjoyed my music taste. And I always got made fun of, especially in middle school and high school. I always got made fun of. So it's whatever. It's my music taste. I love it, of course, but I know for a fact that I'm gonna have some pretty hot takes. So I think it'll be super duper interesting. And for the record, me and Jack, we like each other's music. Our music tastes are different, but we do like each other's music. So I think that'll also be interesting too for comparison.
And I think everyone has a very specific musical journey that they go down in terms of who they listen to throughout their life. I know that I did, and it was maybe drastic, maybe not. Maybe some people had harsher pivots. Um, but Dylan, we've talked about this a lot actually about
Yeah,
what music we've listened to when we were in like elementary school, high school, and now in college. And if you want to give us in the audience a in-depth understanding of your musical history, I would love for you to explain that to us.
absolutely. Okay, I have it all written down. So when I was little, I'm sure this is the same for most people. I just had the radio. I just listened to pop music and I liked that because that's all I knew. But I will say, for the record, when I was maybe like 6, I found all my mom's like old CDs, and my favorite song ended up being Dr. Feelgood by Motley Crue, which is a rock song. So I feel like that was kind of foreshadowing of what I was gonna like when I was older. Was also a big fan of Larger Than Life by the Backstreet Boys. Um, but yeah, I didn't start really developing what I'd say I listen to now until middle school. So 7th grade, I listened to a lot of Grandson, and he's a little bit rock. Um, I honestly don't really know what his more modern music is, but I know what I listened to was more rock. And then I kind of went back to my basicness. I was a huge Billie Eilish fan. I was a huge BTS fan. And then I'd say the gateway to where I am right now is the song Snitch by Rain Hartley, also Crisis and Break Shit by Josiah. Those are two songs by Josiah. Exorcist by Killswitch was also my holy grail. I listened to that every single second of every single day during 8th grade, and I thought that I was so cool because of that. Um, and so one of my favorite artists right now, and for the last 6 years, I'd say, has been Estasha. And my first Estasha song was All Out of Oil, and that was my freshman year. Freshman year, I also started listening to Corpse a little bit, and I'm sure many of our listeners have listened to E-Girls Are Ruining My Life by Corpse, and that's a very good introduction to the stuff that I listen to. I feel like um it's very similar. It's very similar to the stuff I still listen to. Misa Misa by Corpse is a phenomenal song. I'm not even gonna pretend. That's a phenomenal funk rap song. But I digress. Okay, freshman year I also got into Palais Royale, which is a very like emo punk rock. Um, let's see. Okay, sophomore year, I started to explore more with Astasha, and then that led me into Kamara, Grim Salvo, Moss Back, Broken Flow, and Simpra. Again, probably you guys don't know who any of those people are. You can search them up if you want to. They all sound very similar. And I still really listen to a lot of them. I still listen to Kamara. I still listen to Mossback. And as I said earlier, my favorite right now is Estasha. Um, and I wanted to say some of my favorite songs like specifically. So if any of the people listening really, really have the energy or desire to truly understand the music I listen to, can pull up your phone right now and search up the songs I'm about to list. So my favorite Estasha songs are Junk Bath, Barbed Wire Braces, Harmer Set, Snail Clipper, Marhat, or Blotless Ink. Um, my favorite Mossback song is Bleeding Aura. And then another artist that's my favorite right now is Harper. And Devil May Cry is Loki, probably I've listened to that like 5 times a day this month alone. Devil May Cry by Harper is a genius song, absolutely amazing. I also really like The Alchemist by Harper. I like Drop It Like It's Hot and Shiv. And let's see, I also wrote down some songs. Oh yes, okay. This one is kind of an outlier in terms of style, but a song that I will always love, no matter what, no matter how many times I listen to it, is Trees by 21 Pilots. And I know that that's pretty controversial. 21 Pilots is sometimes well loved and well hated, but I'm sorry, that was kind of all over the place. I tried to structure it in order of time, but that's basically my music history.
I believe that you went very in depth, and I really did not, and I kind of feel bad because I could have should have done more
Oh, I
research.
feel bad because I feel like I did too much.
No, there on this show there's never too much. There's only too little. But I can explain my music history as I don't know. I just think it's interesting to look back and reflect upon yourself, especially when it comes to music. Because I remember vividly when my frontal lobe decided to develop and decided to that I wanted to get my own music taste because I was in the radio, I was in the back seat of probably my mom's car, and Neon Trees came on. Yeah, it was like probably their really popular song. I can't forget the name. The only one I can think of is Skeleton Boy, but that was not one of them. That's one that I really liked. Um, but it was their really popular song. I'm sorry, I'm blanking, but it was that one. And I was like, oh, I should listen to them. And that got me into kind of what are they? Pop rock? Rock pop? They're kind of on that like branch of music where it's definitely not my thing anymore. It's definitely like a early elementary school or like late elementary school, early middle school, because I was in like seventh grade. That's when I really decided to like music, or I was going into seventh grade or something along those lines. And I also liked KG Elephant, I think. Just giving you another example of stuff that I liked at the time. Very pop rocky. And then a few years later or a year later, whatever it may be, my tastes became more refined per se, where I did start to enjoy rock a little bit more with The Strokes, where Is This It and Room on Fire are two amazing albums, I will say. Have them both on CD. They're awesome. Great albums. I can listen to them now. I don't, but great. And the new Abnormal. That was the one they released in like 2020, and they won an Emmy for that. 100% deserved. That was a really fun one. I'm forgetting all the names, and I feel so bad because I listened to that album religiously, but that was a great one. And then I think this encapsulates my music taste a little bit more. My Bloody Valentine, where that's the more shoegazy rock. Maybe that's redundant because I was like, is shoegaze rock? I don't know. I don't know much about music theory. But My Bloody Valentine, what I do with music, I don't know why I do this, but I force myself to listen to certain albums and bands and groups until I like it. And I did that with My Bloody Valentine. Don't know why. I don't remember why I did that, but I remember for like a month straight almost, I was sitting on the bus coming home from school, trying my best to understand their sound. And I did. I eventually got it. And I can listen to My Bloody Valentine. I don't listen to them very often, but once I do, I understand it and I understand why they're a popular band. So that was kind of my next stage, excuse me, of my listening to music. And then I became very into hip hop slash rap with MF Doom whenever he passed away, 2021 per se. I was meaning to get around to listening to him for like months, and then he passed away, and it was like perfect opportunity. And I mean, come on, Food is an amazing album. Um, Oh my, I'm so sorry. I'm blanking on like the best album of all time. Everyone knows that one though. It's an amazing album. And then also Freddie Gibbs, which I believe is the best. He's the best rapper I've ever listened to. His album Pinata, genuinely out of this world. It's amazing. The production's awesome. His flow always is like shocking and like just like he's so good. It's shocking. I should he's just so good. And at the same time, I was also kind of listening to like more rock of Midwest emo. Um, I just, you know what? It was fire. I don't care. Midwest emo is an amazing genre. There's so many great bands, so many great albums, and I love that to no end. But to wrap up my section of what I listen to now, I think Have a Nice Life and the Microphones is what my music journey has led me to, with it's a combination of rock and shoegaze. Um, and just everything I like with music. And of course, Death Consciousness is probably the greatest album of all time. I Have a Nice Life. And the Microphones, The Glow Part 2 is that's one of there's this really it's hard to touch those two albums. Truly. But now going back to like when I was into rap in like ninth grade, Death Grips, I got into them very minimally, where I liked I've Seen Footage and Get Got and that was kind of it. Like I didn't really get that deep into them. I thought their sound was weird, too much. It was strange. Now I'm a Death Grips fan, truly and utterly. The stranger it is, the better it is for me. I get so excited listening to them, knowing that a group like them exists, because that is such an insane thing that we get to experience them. Not to glaze them too much, but they're at a hiatus. Uh, Apparently, they're producing their new album without Flatlander, so we'll see how that is. But that was a very fun conversation. I thought I always think that's fun. But Dylan, um, I'm interested in what you look for in music specifically. If you have like a desired sound.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I just want to say I think it's super interesting because listening to you explain all your music, like I know that we know this, but just to say for the people listening, like I 100% understand what you mean by saying some of Death Grip's music is just sounds. It's just noises, man. Like, and I don't listen to Death Grips, but I will say Mossback not so much, but like Grim Salva 100%. Some of his music is just sounds. Um, and it's like so good sometimes, almost because of the fact that it's bad. And um, I almost have a place in my heart for music that is just like gross, like just like oh, like that's
I
disgusting.
agree.
Um, but in a way that it's like they you can tell they know music theory, they have good flow, or they can stay on beat, or like something that like it's not just pure nonsense. Um, but it is art. And so yeah, with my desired sound, what I look for and tend to gravitate towards is a lot of bass. I like a lot of bass. I like really, really good beats, hip hop beats. That's what makes me drool is like Harper's beats in the back of his rap songs. I don't care too much about lyrics. I can definitely enjoy lyrics if they're very poetic or meaningful or they resonate with me. But at the same time, a lot of the music I listen to is talking about like murdering people, and I don't even realize. Like, I'm not listening to that. I'm not internalizing it. I've showed people my music before and they've looked at me with crazy eyes and they're like, "Oh my gosh, did you just hear it say da 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 da?" And I'm like, I'm just now finding out that it says that because you pointed it out to me. I'm the type of person that I have to go Google the lyrics and memorize them because I can't hear what they're like. I can't even hardly process the words that they're saying because my brain just is not listening for that. So all of that is to say that if you listen to my music and you are thoroughly disturbed, just know I probably didn't even know they just said that. Um, the interesting thing about that though is I need lyrics. I'm not a fan of lyric lists. I don't like just instrumentals. So something about the cadence of a human voice I like, but I don't care what they're saying. That's why I really can get into any uh language is because I really don't care what they're saying. Um, And so because of that, what sounds am I listening to? I am a slut for electric guitar. I love me some electric guitar, like a static electric guitar. That is so good. Especially if it's incorporated into rap. If you have like a heavy, good trap beat in the background and you get electric guitar in there, oh my gosh. That is musical genius right there to me. And Estasha has just recently really started to master that sound. Oh, dude, it's amazing. Um, in terms of voices, I I like deeper voices, but at the same time, like I will always be able to respect good vocal range. Um, I feel like Estasha has good vocal range. Harper has like I think Harper has a very like satisfying voice for his music. Mossback has good vocal range, but they can also make their voices really deep to fit kind of like the gravelly rap sound, like the like corpses sound. Um, Another thing I really like is it's almost hard to explain, but if there's just little gadgets and bits and things that I can hyper focus on. Like something that I really like that Astasha does is he has just these background noises. It'll be like chains rattling or a dog barking or glass breaking, and it's just like this little thing, and I can listen to it and I can hyper focus on it, and it usually ends up becoming like my favorite part of the song or like a good bridge. Like if an artist has a good bridge that's they maybe they do a key change or anytime there's like dissonance, like oh if like again if it's like gross and like it's just so good. Um I really have been yammering. I've said a lot. I'm trying to make sure I cover all my bases in case I'm sure most of the people listening are not going to go out of their way to go onto Spotify and listen to the songs that I said earlier. So I'm trying to make sure that they can have an understanding of it just by me explaining it. Um, I mean, honestly, I kind of like cinematic stuff a little bit. I just am a really big fan of really understanding chords and key changes and all the very pretty musical. Um, there really isn't a way to describe it, but I mean, you can imagine cinematic music, like movie songs. It's just
Mhm.
very musical, and there's a lot of chord progressions and whole big bunch of fancy words I just used there. Um, I feel like I really feel like I covered all the bases. I I can do some like calmer, slower songs, but it's rare. It's rare. I really have to be able to attach to the song either through the lyrics or like listen to it enough times that I basically just gaslit myself into liking it because most of the time, if I'm listening to any amount of pop, any amount of slow song, sad song, whatever, it's just too boring and I can't
Mhm.
focus and I dislike it. Even if it's well made and everybody and their mom says that it's their favorite song, if it's just too simple and there's not enough going on in the background, it's not for me. I
Yeah.
can't do it.
I mean, I it's interesting because we've also spoken about how we have well, we look for very similar things, but we get it in completely different ways. Um,
Yes, yeah,
because I don't care about lyrics either. I don't care about to listen if I can understand the lyrics at all. I really don't care about that.
me
Um,
too.
because in my opinion, like a human voice is just another instrument to help with the chorus or whatever it may be. So that's just how I feel about that. Yeah, I do disagree. I don't really care about electric guitars. If they're done well, I think it's fine, but it's nothing I really look for. I love drums. I love drums. Zach
Mm.
Hill, the drummer for Death Grips, he just is slamming and slapping around his drums like he doesn't care about it. That's what he does, and I love that because it's so imposing and it's so big, and it's just like he's there, he's present. He's also an amazing producer. I will say that his solo stuff is awesome. And I also love a bassy sound. That's awesome, which is a lot like Have a Nice Life with
Yes.
Death Consciousness, very bassy. And with that, that's shoegaze. Shoegaze is very bassy. Sometimes, sometimes it's not, but I try to find shoegaze that is bassy, in which Have a Nice Life accomplishes very well. Um, and I do love a harsh noise. Not necessarily it hurts me, but I'm okay with it trying to hurt me. That's like I'm fine with that. So that's just I look for something pretty specific, and I'm pretty happy with what my music my music journey has led me so far. But I that's kind of all I have to say about my sound. It's not too complex. So, but I hope all this talk, all this yapping and yammering has allowed you, our listeners, to understand us a little bit more as the host for the show. So maybe you can disagree with us all the time, maybe only sometimes, or maybe you agree with us. We have very similar tastes, and whenever we give recommendations every episode, you'll be happy to hear from us, or you'll just ignore us. But hopefully, you'll listen to our dialogue. But I would love to tell you what our next episode will be, which we'll record it next Friday. It might be uploaded a different date, but we'll see. We're still figuring stuff out. But we're going to be looking at we actually, excuse me, we have a little series called "Is It Really That Bad?" Where, like the title says, do we think this music is really that bad? It's mostly kind of infamous tracks or albums or sounds, things that aren't very popular or are too popular, and people dislike it because it is popular. And we're trying to discern if it's bad or not. And we're going to be going all the way back to our childhood. It's going to be our childhood classics, probably part one of maybe a couple of parts of this, but we're going to be looking at what does the fox say in Gangnam Style, which we'll talk about our opinions then.
Yeah. You
But
guys
that's a
are
really,
really gonna like my take on it, I promise.
yeah,
I promise.
we're gonna do good. Just give us an opportunity. Um, but that's the meat of our episode. Dylan, do you have any closing remarks you would like to say?
All right, well, if there is one single thing for you to take away from this episode, I'm gonna give you guys a song recommendation, and it is going to be, I have quite a few I could pick right here. Harmerset by Astasha, and that's Harmorset by Astasha is Istasha.
There you go. There's your song recommendation of the week. And thank you so much for listening to this Orb Media podcast production. And if you have any recommendations for future episodes or where you want us to talk about, email us at
Yes.
orbmediaproductions@gmail.com. So we'll take anything you want us to. But again, thank you so much. This has once again been Record Talk. Have a nice night, everyone.